It is always fun to be back in New York City. I'm not really a city girl. If anybody knows me, I'm a Philly girl, and Philly is nothing like New York.
But the Eagles won.
Okay, we're going to get there. So
okay.
First of all, welcome to Matchmaker. Find me a love that lasts. This is the podcast where you can learn everything about dating, love, relationships, heartaches, heartbreaks, success stories. Sometimes we have a married couple on here. Sometimes we have singles. And today, our guest is Chloe Hector. If you've been on TikTok, you may know her because she's got a following of like 100,000 people. She amplifies the Jewish voice through comedy. She's 23. She's single, and you're gonna want to know all about her. And wait, you're a Jewish influencer.
I'm a Jewish influencer, yeah.
And this is your full-time gig now?
It is, as of October, which is crazy. But yeah, I started creating Jewish content around this time last year. I'd had like one or two.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Literally a year ago?
Like February, March, yeah.
Right. So now she's going to work for me. She apparently has 100,000 followers. Although TikTok, I know I call it TikTok, sometimes not TikTok.
TikTok.
Don't laugh. It's my generation. Sorry. But anyway, I know somehow there's like it's your gen that can get it. I'm 47. We're not in the same.
Most of my followers are teenagers.
Right.
So I think that's where it comes from. I largely, when you look at like the percentage, your demographic, like my largest percentage is 13 to 17-year-olds.
13 to 17?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's Jewish teens, because I make content about sleepaway camp a lot of the time and bar mitzvahs. And so I get
so
DMs.
Relatable.
It's so relatable to them. And it's funny because I feel like a lot of it is sort of adult humor, but they maybe want to hear adult humor about what they're doing. And yeah.
So, okay. And you're in the dating scene.
Yes.
And you're in New York.
I'm in New York. I'm recently back on the dating scene. I went through a breakup about 2 months ago. So I think like after a breakup, it's definitely hard to get back into dating. My first date after the breakup was the worst date I've ever been on in my life. Like truly. And I'd been on bad dates before, but I was like, oh, and right after my breakup, this was the worst date of my life.
What made it the worst date?
He looked nothing like his picture.
Oh, that makes the brain hurt a lot.
His pictures were very attractive, and I hate to say it this way, but in person he was not. And to boot, the conversation, and I could talk to a wall. Like
you're a schmoozer.
I also am just a yapper. Like I'm funny and I can just talk about anything to anyone. Yeah. I could not talk to this man. It was the most painfully awkward hour of my life. I didn't even finish my drink.
It was only an hour though. You cut it short.
I had to cut it short because there was nothing else. But the feeling was mutual. We just did not mesh. He was so boring. And we really had nothing to talk about. We started talking about like the weather. He was like, it's been cold. And I was like, yeah, well, I have a warm jacket. Like it was the worst. It was the worst day. It was so bad. I walk into my building because my doormen are very invested in my life, of course, because I live in New York City and I'm in my 20s. And I go into the building and I look at my favorite doorman and I'm like, eh. And we start cracking up. And I feel
like you have like a therapy debrief session right there in the lobby.
No, totally.
It's like so good for the soul.
My favorite doorman is like a second therapist to me, for sure. I love him. He's awesome. And he's so invested in my dating life. And whenever there's a cute boy in the lobby in my building, he's like, oh, you know, Chloe, like he's in it for me for sure.
Okay, so we need to find somebody who's fun. I'm getting you have a fun vibe, a camp vibe. You have a Jewish playful side to yourself. For sure. Influencer, like out there, schmoozy side.
Yes. I also, though, am something that like I look for is someone who's a bit more like intellectual. Like I like someone who like watches plays and reads books and is into that sort of thing.
Not just scrolls on social media.
Yeah, for sure. Knows a bit about like psychology and philosophy and those types of things. It's kind of interesting. I think it is really hard to date as someone with a social media platform, especially since I only date Jewish and all my content is Jewish. Most Jewish boys in New York have at least seen me on there?
Okay, so that was going to be the question because years ago, I worked on the set of Soon by You, which is, I don't know if you saw that. It's a modern Orthodox dating series, kind of like Friends, but like the modern Orthodox version.
I love it.
It was so much fun. And the two producers,
oh my goodness.
Labriute.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, 'tis the season of sneezes. Anyway, the two producers that were working on the show, like you, like everybody starts to be well known and they know who they are. And I'm like, does it make your dating life better, easier, or harder? And they both actually said it made it easier because there were more options. Like because more people knew about them, so more people approached them, so you had more options. Now, dating is always hard, but they felt like it was better than being unknown, so to speak.
So it's easier to find people. It's harder to trust them.
Ooh, dig into that a little bit.
So I think a lot of people want to say they went on a date with the TikTok girl or say they hooked up with the TikTok girl. And I've literally had experiences where I'd gone on like 2 or 3 dates with someone and they'd been like, hey, I started seeing someone else and it's gotten really serious, but I think it's so cool that like I went out with you because you're famous.
Oh.
And that's happened to me more than once. And like I
get it.
And I'll get messages on Hinge that are like, I'm a huge fan of your content. Like, when can I take you out? Like, I got this whole paragraph I actually need to read this to you. And by the way, I've read this paragraph on a podcast before because it's the craziest thing that anyone has ever written to me. And I just matched with this guy on Hinge. But this is the craziest message ever. Hey, Chloe, I don't want to be pushy, but I promise you I'm a great normal guy who went to camp, and sure, we would have a lot in common. If interested, text me. He gives me his number. I'm heading somewhere for a mini college reunion, but would love to take you out when I'm back. Sincerely, one of your biggest fans.
Wait, so first of all, I'm just going to tell you, if he was coaching with me and like, I want to approach this girl, I think she's cool, blah, 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 I would have crafted a message like that. I think that's nice.
He sent me like 10 messages before that.
Oh, no, you didn't say that before. Okay.
No, but also he said like, I promise I'm a great normal guy. I feel like if you have to say that you're a great normal guy, you're probably not a great normal guy. Like if you have to convince me.
Right. That part needed to be deleted.
I'm like, if you're convincing yourself, I feel like you're convincing yourself.
No, but he's also having a sensitivity to you that like you're probably, he's acknowledging you're probably approached by a lot of people.
Yeah.
You're probably approached by a lot of people that aren't, quote, normal, whatever the definition of that is. And I want to let you know that like, I'm cool, it's okay. But at the same time, a normal, cool guy wouldn't say that.
Yeah. So I did meet my ex, actually. He had messaged me like as someone who watched my content. And that was how we met. And I honestly don't think I would do that again. I think I want someone to fully just know me for me and not approach me because of an internet persona or whatever they're
gonna have to
seen
go
on
through
social
me.
media. No, like I just feel like I want someone to actually genuinely know
like you for
the person inside and not just this persona on the internet. Because I think it's a tug of war between like, it's cool because so many guys approach me now. They're like, oh, you're like the Jewish girl. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but you don't know. You don't know me.
You don't know me. Well, you don't put yourself, like, all of your content is with humor and play and banter and with like a persona. Like, you don't put yourself out there.
I do, but those aren't the videos that go as viral. Like the videos that have millions of views, I'm either playing a 12-year-old at summer camp or I'm playing an emo NYU Tisch student who sleeps with Barron Trump. That's like my other bit that I do. So it's like, the videos of my actual personality are only probably watched by these like 12-year-old girls who look up to me and not by like the 25-year-old bachelors of Manhattan. The guys that see my videos are getting sent them by their moms or their camp friends or whatever.
Do you do dating content? Because there's a lot of camp dating that happens.
Yeah, I did before my relationship. I haven't done any after like yet. I'm like waiting because it's still a little fresh. I've only been on 2 dates since the breakup. That one really horrible.
So later, after this podcast,
and
I'm going to give you some camp content
God,
that you can use, but it didn't come from me.
Okay, beautiful.
Mix it in with your other stuff.
And you're actually going to laugh. I went on a date with someone who Murray Hillboy set me up with, one of his like frat brothers. And it was fun. He was very sweet, but I'm also just like, I almost feel like I'm shitting where I eat with that one, because it's like, if it's Max's frat, like, you know what I mean? Like, I work with Max so much, and I love Max, but I work with him so much. It's like if I'm dating his, like, I don't know.
Okay. You're going to come into my world. Okay. Well, welcome to the.
I'm like, I have too much anxiety to do anything. Tell me.
Right. So I don't want you to have anxiety about it. And a lot of people of all ages, they're like, I don't want to date somebody who's too close to me in age or work or whatever the situation is. They have all sorts of stories of why they can't date. And literally those are often the most, in Hebrew, we would say matim, like the most appropriately matched people, because those people know both of you really well.
Right.
So he's a better matchmaker than I would be, because he knows
us,
he
right?
knows you guys.
Sure.
So it's like, and I get also like, then it's awkward. Okay, if it doesn't work out, now we show up and we are at events together and this and that, and I have to see this other person.
Right. Well, that's like my concern, I guess. But yeah. Anyhow.
But we have to move you through it, because you might miss out on an amazing match that a friend makes. And I'm a huge, like insanely huge fan of friends setting up friends. Like,
oh, well, that's the best way to me. I think friends setting up friends, because it's like, it's people who know you. And I also just, for me, I think like the people I've really like fallen in love with in my life are people I've known for years first.
Right.
So that's also just like someone who I've really been like friends with, and I love that, and I wish I could get that sort of back, but it's hard because it's like, it's not like I'm in school anymore to like know someone for years and then be like, oh my God, and then senior year we, you know, because that did happen to me in high school. But
I was going to say, high school and university are two great places to meet people, because there are so many like-minded young people.
Right, and you're like insulated. I never had a boyfriend in high school or college. Like, I was never. That like said, I did. My first love was my senior year of high school. He was never my boyfriend, but we were like so in love, and it was a crazy thing. But yeah. I know, young
camp
love.
Girl the first love is something that I actually talk about a lot, because there's something that's there that is just, there's a deep connection.
Yeah.
And it never really goes away. Like, it's always a fond memory, even 5 years later, 10 years later, 20, you could be married. It's just a fond memory, because it was a first love.
Sure. And it's okay. You're going to laugh at this one. We actually went to camp and high school together. As the kids would say, he was my 365. And I get DMs from girls being like, help, I think I'm in love with my 365. And I'm like, girl, I was been there.
Right. So I also like that when we have friends that start dating, but also if it doesn't work out, then the friendship. It's not just the friendship, because like the two of you find whatever, you lose a friend, which is not something small. But after that, it's also what happens to the friend group.
I have a story about that.
Bring it on.
I actually lost my virginity to a close guy friend, and it like messed up the group for sure. Oops.
We just got really deep and personal. I don't know if we've ever gone this deep on a podcast.
Oh, really?
Before.
Am I not allowed to?
Welcome. We are non-judgmental.
Sorry, I literally have like the
open.
biggest mouth ever. No, yeah.
But it ruined the friendship. It ruined the relationship and the friendship.
Yeah. I mean, in college, we were like in the same friend group, and I had the biggest crush on him. And I think he just like knew I had a crush on him.
But it wasn't like a strong mutual.
No, I think he just was like attracted to me physically, which like sucks. But like I was also 19 and like naive and such. But yeah, I mean, I literally have not spoken to him since, which is crazy.
Okay, so wait, I have to tell you, because in my book, I'm just going to pull it out here for a minute.
Pull out the book.
I have a whole chapter, and I know you have my book, but I don't know if you got to this chapter, because it's at the end. It's not even really a chapter. It's like the addendum, the appendix. It's the 5-date challenge.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're going to like this, but
like
I think that
5 whole dates with the same person, like actually, like I have to be like, I love you. Like,
okay, wait. Your followers are going to need to know about this.
Okay.
And you can do you could probably riff on so much of this. Like there's really good content.
I'm
here,
probably
okay?
the most chaotic person you've ever had on your podcast.
Okay, so here we go. You ready? Mentally, you commit to 5 dates. Like if I agree to 1 date with you, but mentally I'm committing to 5 dates. Now, if it's horrible and a no, okay, fine, you could drop them. But really just, you don't even have to think. At the end of the date, they're like, you want to go out again? You just say yes.
Okay.
Because you're just going to keep going. You're going to see. In a first date, what do you have? 1 or 2 hours of information?
Right.
After a second date, what do you have? 5 hours of information? After 5 dates, you've got more than 10 hours of information. Now you could make a real
decision.
Yeah. Now, if it doesn't work before then, of course. But if it's not a hard no, it's just a yes for another date. So that's one part of it. No more than 5 hours per date.
Got it.
And no more than 5 days between dates.
Okay.
Because we got to keep a momentum going. Like,
Right. So like with men in New York City, they'll be like 2 weeks later. They'll be like, oh.
Ridiculous. Because what are you guys doing? You're all going out with other people. Like,
Right, no, it's like
either
I
I
was
like you or I don't like you next.
dating this guy last year for like 3 months, but we'd only see each other like every 2 weeks. He'd be like, oh, like, let's do something. Sorry, work was crazy. I'd be like, I'm sure work was crazy. Like,
Right. No, it's not that work was crazy. If they wanted to see you, they'd see you.
exactly.
Right. Okay, wait, I'm not done with the 5-date challenge.
But like, did I see him again every 2 weeks? Of course I did.
If you have nothing doing and he has nothing doing, then everybody's just like, okay, so
Yeah.
we'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Okay. No talking to more than 5 people in your life about your dating, because it's not like yep. And then did I tell you this story? Did I tell you this story? Did I tell you what happened? It makes your head swim. We just need you to have clarity about it.
Right.
So like if you're going to talk to people, I don't even love 5, but I give a max of 5, especially with people that have large families and siblings and so many best friends.
Oh God.
Right?
Oh God. I have so many best friends. I have a pretty small nuclear family, but I have a lot of friends.
Right. So like when you got on a
I have
date,
like 3 group chats that I send every
Okay,
day.
so that's the question. How many people get updated after a date? How many
Wait, I'm
people-
actually going 3, another 3, another. I would say it's like 8 of my friends.
Okay. So you failed.
I failed.
Number 2. But that's okay because you're just learning about it.
Right.
Okay, wait, you're gonna
I'm like
you're gonna
going through,
not
I'm like my college group chat, my theater friends group
Yeah.
chat. Like I'm like, okay, like that.
and you're updating everybody. Okay, wait. Hey, next rule. You're not gonna like this one either.
Uh-oh.
Your people need to know this. Though. The
Uh-oh.
teens need to know this.
You just need to know.
Yeah. No touching for 5 dates.
Oh no.
Okay? No, I'm gonna explain. Because I'm gonna
Like touching and like a
like hello, handshake, kiss, cheek.
not
on the
even like a handshake.
Nothing. No, like, hi, nice to see you. No.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm going to pitch you why this is the right thing.
Oh, you have to
then-
pitch sell me on that one, babe.
Okay, I'm putting this back. I'm going to sell you because this is what we have to focus on. And your teens must know about this.
Because
This
the
like,
thing
important.
is I'm extremely reform, and I always talk about how like my content is always like extremely reform content, and I think a lot of obviously like what's in your content is more like modern Orthodox and like more religious. So like the a pie boys of the world are not waiting 5 dates to touch. Like that's.
Okay, I'm going to prove you wrong and you're going to prove me right because you're going to take the test.
I'm crying.
Take the challenge, see the change. Here's the deal. And I've talked to men and I've talked to teens. I also, just for your background, I grew up secular and I became observant.
Okay.
So I know the secular world. I lived the secular life until my mid-20s. Then I became observant and now I'm 47. So half my life I've been secular and half my life I've been observant.
Awesome.
And I would call myself like normal, from normal religious.
Yeah.
In the right. But I totally like my content has Jewish wisdom for the world, but it's not really Orthodox content, which is
Got
why
it.
I don't say don't touch until marriage, which is like
Well, of
the way
course.
that-
I mean, and there are certain people who do wait till marriage,
Right.
of course. But no, and I'm not like the type of person who's gonna like do all that on a first date.
Okay. Wait. I'm gonna get you. I need your buy-in. Okay. And again, we can banter about this. You can fight me back on this. If he likes you, will he go out with you and not touch you on date 1? If he likes you,
I mean, yeah.
on date 2, he likes you more because he said yes to a second date. Will he still date you and not touch you?
I mean, yes, but he also would probably try to touch.
But he would want to. So now we've created sexual tension between the two of you and activated the chemistry between the two of you. By a 3rd date, by a 4th date, if he really likes you and he doesn't touch you, what does he like about you?
well, your personality, but also I would say, though, he could also think that you're not physically attracted to him.
He might, but if you're giving him clues and you're flirting, and if you tell him we're going to take a 5-date challenge and we're going to do this Eliza no touching thing, it's ridiculous, but we're going to see if we can hack it. Okay?
I'm like, we're going to do the Eliza no touch rule.
Okay, wait a minute. What do you know if you make it to date 6? Because 5 dates, no touching. If you make it to a date 6, that means you went out, somebody paid for somebody on a date, you agreed to see each other.
Right.
Who likes whom? Both people like each other, and I know it, and I don't have to be a psychic, and I don't have to be a therapist, and you guys don't even have to be psychics or therapists. You just will know I was willing to stick around, and there's nothing physical happening between us. It must be that I actually like you on the inside, and I'm attracted enough on the outside to actually stick around and wait. And then everybody has clarity. I like you, you like me, and we actually like each other for the right reasons.
You know, I feel like this would be a challenge. I'm not even thinking from a sexual standpoint because I usually actually do wait like 4 or 5 dates to do anything like sexual. But I'm like definitely very touchy. Like I'm like a hugger and a kisser and like that kind of stuff for sure. Like even if I meet like a complete stranger, I'm always like, oh my God, so nice to meet you. And I give them a hug.
I know. We said hi in the lobby.
Yeah, no, I'm a big hugger.
I'm the same. I'm the same.
That's a challenge. That's for sure a challenge.
So the reason, I mean, listen, everybody takes it to whatever degree. I've had people negotiate with me. They're like, how about 3 dates? How about
well, people always
how
say,
about I just give a hug? How about this?
Yeah.
How about that?
I think for me, it always also depends on the person. Like if I need like that more reassurance, I'll wait more dates. And if I'm more like, oh, like I think he likes me. Like, you know, it's like.
So the only way to know is if you withhold physical touch, because nobody is sticking around till a 6th date for physical touch. It's just not worth it. They can go get somebody on a first date, second date. It's so much easier to do that if they stick around.
Wow.
This is literally a point of clarity.
My teenage fans who are just so hyper, like, you know. Yeah. They're probably listening to this, like rocking back and forth. They're like, what do you mean?
Will it work? Will it work?
They're like, what do you mean I can't hook up at the BBYO convention?
Oh my gosh, I love BBYO. I was in BBYO, USY.
Oh my gosh.
I was in.
Well, you know, I speak at BBYO conventions. That's like a large part of what I do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm challenging all of your followers to take the 5-date challenge, which is no touching. Mm-hmm. It's irrelevant unless you like each other.
Okay, and whoever is listening, if you want to take me on a date and not touch me 5 times, I'm challenging you to do that. I know I'm very touchable, but you can't touch this.
I feel like we need like a musical interlude right now.
Can't touch this. Yeah.
Now we just brought it back to my Jen.
Yes.
Okay, good. So would you take the challenge?
I mean, yeah, I'm open to trying anything. I think, why not, you know? And I think it could be cool for me to document it. Oh. I mean, as much as like I find it really, it's hard because I don't like to talk about people I am dating on my page for the sake of their own privacy.
Yes.
Obviously. There was one time actually before I met my ex, like last year, I was on a really bad date. It was nowhere near as bad as the date I went on a few weeks ago, but it was still like not great. And I guess I like didn't eat before. I was like, I got really drunk and I went into the bathroom of the restaurant and I like filmed myself and I was like, oh my God, you guys, like this is such a bad date. And I don't know if these drinks are really strong or if I like didn't eat before, but I'm like wasted. And I'm filming this vlog, but like I don't want this guy to think I'm pooping. So whatever. And like that video went viral. The video went viral and the guy actually thought it was like funny. And he was like, can I like redeem myself? Like, can I take you out again? And I was like, honestly, yeah. And like that was the last date. Like it didn't work out. But it was funny. Like by
the way, these are all the things that happened to us back in the day, but we didn't have vlogging.
Right.
None of these things existed. So we had to like retell the stories to our friends, but we didn't document
I retell
it.
the
There's
stories to my 100,000 friends. Like yeah, I mean, I obviously like tell everything to my close friends first, but
the group of 8 with the 3 WhatsApp
So
groups.
I basically have a group chat with like my college sorority friends that I tell everything to, and then I have a group with like it's like I would say like my 3 closest like Jewish theater influencer type vibe friends. And then I have a like kind of campish friends. And I do have one friend who's in 2 of the 3 chats. So it's like an overlap. It's I think it's 8 people total that I tell everything to.
And 100,008.
Right. No, but I don't tell everything to my followers. My followers don't know everything. And like that's important to me. They don't know everything.
Right.
And they try to know everything.
Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're pitching you to the world. You got to check her out online.
Yes.
And if you're interested, either they contact you directly or they can DM me and I'll like check them out for you and I'll approve
don't
them.
contact me directly because I'm trying to do a thing where I don't go out with people who slide into my DMs. So maybe contact Aliza and Aliza can tell me that there was someone who was interested.
And then you can stalk them online and then we can decide if we set it up.
Yes, absolutely.
I love this.
And I would say for me,
and you might they might have to be willing to like let you document this whole experience, and they have to agree to the 5-date challenge, no touching for 5 days.
Okay.
I don't know if she buys into this. I'm not sure if only I buy into this or if she's like,
I would do it, but like as an experiment.
Yeah, it's totally like, an experiment.
I would do it as an experiment. Like I don't think, if I was like, I don't know. We'll see.
Here's the problem. Any other way, you don't know why they like you. You don't know if they like your body or if they like what's inside your body, which is like your brain and your heart and everything that exists about you. You only have confirmation they like your body. And all we're asking is for delayed gratification. And delayed gratification, my husband says, is a sign of intelligence. So if we can hold out to make sure that we like the human that's in front of us, we can probably avoid wasting 6 weeks or 6 months with the wrong human.
Right. My only thing is like, what if someone is like, you really like them. It's like 5 amazing dates. You're like, oh my God.
Yes.
And then they're a terrible kisser.
You can work on that. Then you can practice that.
Like, can you imagine? It's like 5 amazing dates and then they like shove their tongue in your mouth. Like, that is like my nightmare.
Then you just practice and you're like, slow down, cowboy. Not like that. Take it easy. Like, everybody take a deep breath. Let's meditate first.
He like learned how to kiss at camp and he never improved since the day he learned to kiss at camp at 13
Then you're going to teach him because you like him and he likes you and we know what you like about each other.
I think like my attraction all fades if I have like a terrible.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you. I'm in your camp. I'm on your page, right?
Yeah.
I grew up and my dating and love philosophy was don't bother dating him, kiss him first. If he's a good kisser, then you could bother dating him. And if he's not, who cares? That was my previous, before I became a dating and relationship coach and matchmaker, that was my previous philosophy. I have literally flipped around completely. And my advice is don't. You could work on the kissing. Okay. But if you don't like the personality, it's not getting better.
No, obviously a personality is not getting better.
It's not getting better. And neither are he's not intellectual or whatever else is on the list of things
It's like no one is going to suddenly be like, oh, I really like this girl, so I think I'm going to go see a play.
Right. I'm going to start reading books. I'm going to be an intellectual. I'm going to go to a play. I'm going to be able to recite poetry. Like,
no, literally.
It's not happening.
He's like, I actually started journaling for you. Like
it could be, but it's not his nature. And you want somebody whose nature it is natural.
Yeah.
Like you want that to be a part of who they are because that's what you're going to really connect with. Mm-hmm. And the physical side of the relationship should also be good. Mm-hmm. And you can work on it later, but it's only worth it to work on it if it's with a human you like. I'm going to flip the script for a minute, okay? You meet somebody, you don't even talk to them. You just see them across the room and you're like, my person, wow. And no talking, you just make out with them and they're the best kisser ever. You're having the most amazing experience. And then they open their mouth to talk to you.
Right, and then they're like the worst.
And you're like, don't talk. Shh. You have ruined my experience. Like, no talking.
I mean, that will happen for sure. That is a common experience.
Right. Which means that it won't work that way.
Right, of course.
Because that's irrelevant if the inside isn't good. So if we know the inside has to align, then it's the first thing we have to check out. All I'm asking for is 5 dates. Right. You can go out for the rest of your life and do whatever you want. Right. Follow whatever rules you want. Sure. It doesn't matter. But like 5 dates. And I'm doing it because it's smart, because it's logic. Listen, I'm a logical, reasonable, rational, also emotionally available human, but I'll call it like this chutzpahdik mastermind, how to hack dating and get through it faster, easier, and better, and get rid of all the wrong people fast.
Right. It's so true. Yeah.
So that's all. I just want to make your dating life and all your teens' dating life better too.
Thank you. I really appreciate the help. I haven't really dated, I guess, since my breakup. So
okay, so we have a new opportunity. Yeah. You also might need a dating detox.
I feel like I'm a little bit on a detox right now. Okay. Like I'm not anti-dating. I'm not like not going on dates at all, but it's not my priority at the moment. I mean, like
you're doing what I call passive dating. Okay. Passive dating is when you're not actively looking for somebody or pursuing, but you're only evaluating what comes to you.
Right. Yeah.
Because hey,
it's like if an opportunity comes, of course I'll take it, but I'm not like, I need to look for someone right now. I'm like very content with myself and with my friends. And I literally said to my mom, I was like, right now I can't imagine loving a guy more than I like love myself. And I think that's a really great mindset to have at 23 years old. Like I feel very confident in myself and but I mean, of course, I would love to find the right person.
Right. Also, we have to get to a place where your heart has space for somebody else to exist too. Mm-hmm. So you love yourself, you believe in yourself, you have a healthy self-esteem, which is wonderful, and you find somebody who matches you. And then from that viewpoint, you could see how much you value who they are and appreciate who they are and how connected you could feel to somebody.
Sure, of course. Yeah. And I think that's very important. And I think there is like a part of me that's a bit closed off at the moment, which is okay. I know that those feelings are temporary, and
we're going to do a dating detox. I have one.
Okay, tell me.
It's actually starting March 9th.
Okay. So from now till March 9th, I can go on. No, I'm kidding.
It's a 2-week dating detox, and it will just walk you through past, present, future, what you've got to get over, where you're at today, and then once we clear that up, how you're going to move ahead and make a smart plan for life and dating and being in a great place to enjoy yourself and find a really wonderful partner that's going to be a great match for you.
It's awesome.
So I don't know if you can wait that long for it, but
I mean, I feel like I've been on a 2-week dating detox the last 2 weeks. So it's like,
a self-imposed. Detox, which is good. Good. But we need a healing journey also, not just a no dating, but a healing journey too. I feel like we went from woo, camp fun and TikTok and all those things to a really deep place.
I have to be honest, even when I'm deep, I throw an element of fun in there.
Play. Fun.
That's just humor. My vibe. I love humor. And even when I get deep, I'm like, okay, now it's time to make a joke. It's just who I am.
That's good. Well, the person that you meet will have to meet you where you're at.
Oh, absolutely.
And be able to appreciate and handle that.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, definitely. Get the humor, get the sarcasm, all that good stuff.
So for any of our listeners that aren't yet following you, where can they find you?
Both my TikTok and my Instagram are just Chloe Hector. Hector is spelled like Hetchter. And I had to throw an extra R at the end because someone took my handle and I'm not quite sure who she is. But there's another Chloe Hector somewhere in the world. She's not, I think she's in Brazil. And she took my handle.
No way.
Yeah. And I don't think we're related either. So, because I feel like I know all of my second cousins that are out there,
And you don't have any Brazilian second cousins?
I don't.
Not yet.
No, not that I know of. I mean, yeah, their second cousins are in Florida.
This has been so much fun. I want a handshake on the 5-date challenge. You're willing to take the challenge. Just think about it for a minute.
I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to do it.
Give me.
If anyone wants to, listeners, if anyone wants to not touch me 5 times, that's...
We're going to do a challenge date. Okay, so I want to say thank you to all of our listeners and anybody who's watching this on YouTube. We love coming here, bringing lots of wisdom about dating, love, relationships, matchmaking. If you have questions, you should send them to us. You should check out all the show notes. If you want to join our dating detox or any of the programs that we have, we've got that. We have coaching. We have matchmaking services like love, dating, relationships. You need it. We've got it. Let's talk. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.